Welcome to Daily Tax Savings. This is Tony Novak here to share a few points on saving taxes and staying out of tax trouble. Today we're revisiting the, uh, the topic of partial payments to IRS. Now, in general, if you owe the IRS or anybody money, it's good to have an agreement to satisfy the whole thing. It might be an agreement to pay less than the full balance just to get it over with, or it might be an agreement to write off all or part of it. But in all cases, it's better to have a complete agreement. If you can't make a complete agreement, what advantage is there of only making a partial uh, payment? There's a joke line that I've used, as a silly joke that I've used for a long time with in the tax field. Um, just you know, I'd rather owe you than cheat you out of it. In other words, if you can't pay, just wait. Just put stall. It's not a good strategy. Like I said, it's a dumb joke, but it fits in here in that if we can't reach some type of agreement to get an advantage in making a partial payment, we normally don't advise doing it. In addition, the flip side has also been true. IRS has been notoriously tough on people that want to make partial payments. Now, of course, you can always just, if you owe a big balance, you could send them $50 a month or whatever. They're not going to refuse to take the money. It's just that you're not getting any benefit for that agreement to pay $50 a month. However, here's the point. Right now appears to be a good time to approach IRS with a plan. Here's what I can afford to pay. Take it or leave it. In many cases that I'm hearing from other professionals, more than ever before in the last few years, IRS is agreeing to accept that payment arrangement. And here are the benefits that come along with that. And that's why we're talking about it. One is that it removes that debt from collection status. So if this debt has been causing you stress with your spouse, or you're concerned about it showing up on an employment application, it takes that debt out of bad debt and puts it into current payment status. That can be a really valuable thing. If you're applying for a mortgage or trying to get a home loan, or or even an auto loan, it shows it as current payment status, a good loan, a good payment plan, as opposed to a bad debt in default. Uh, in addition, there is a statute of limitations on all of these IRS collections. And if you're paying less than what it would take to pay off your debt, possible. It could be revised. The IRS could say, oh, you just won the lottery and now you owe more money. In reality, I don't see that happening. I don't think I've ever seen it. I've heard of it happening, but I've never personally seen it. It's certainly not very common. Once you lock in an agreement, that you're usually good with that for the foreseeable future. So I would suggest that if you've been discouraged in the past, if you've had an agreement, if you've had a tax pro like me say, no, this isn't going to work, or IRS is not going to accept your agreement. I have clients that have made offers and they've been declined. Now is a good time to come up with a plan. Where do you start? What can I afford to pay? What can I pay? You answer that question, not IRS. You decide, what can I afford to pay to address my debt, and have a third party intermediary, somebody like me, with uh, again, it appears that IRS are open to accept those. You won't read this in the news or official policy. This is all just informal talk among tax pros that more of us are seeing this pattern emerging, that IRS does want to accept reasonable agreements and get these bad debt cases off their desks. So if you'd like to talk about your situation one-on-one privately, of course, contact me at taxproblems.cpa. Click that Let's Talk button, and we can see what might work out in your case. I'll be back tomorrow with another Tax Savings Minute.